How are you doing? Patrick here. How are you doing in this time of quarantine and I would call it a time of reset. How are you doing? Is it changing you? I'd like to talk about if you're Christian, um, how has it been for you? How's your faith? How's your faith? Has your faith changed and taken a new direction? Are there challenges to your faith? I personally believe that we're living in a time of reset, even reset for our faith, even reset for what we believed in. Everything has been reset. For me, it's been a fantastic time of revelation and rethinking and just looking at things differently, really. Um, and one of the things I've picked up is how much of society is actually embedded in us. How much of life as it is a big part of us, and it just draws me back to thinking about looking back at on my belief in God and my faith in God, and I've been going through some really big transformations, and I just want to tell you a little bit about some of the things that's changing for me. Faith in itself for me is changing in a sort of a massive way. I reviewed the subject of faith, and what I found is that faith is not the goal. Faith is the goal, but it's not the destiny. Because when you found what you've been looking for, you don't really need faith anymore. And so I'm challenged every day about what I believe, or what I believe God is or who He is, and I found Him to be something much more bigger than what I used to perceive Him as. And because of that revelation, I now look at myself differently. I look at myself as mainly, basically having more than what I thought I had. And with that now, having more, my faith has actually changed, because faith is only needed when you feel that you haven't got the thing you want to have faith for. But I've understood this concept of fullness in a way that it's changed my life, really, because I've becoming more conscious of the abundance that I am already and have always been. And I found that I've never been short of being abundant and overflowing. And I would say my perspective is that if you become conscious of who you really are, you become aware that you've always been abounding and never lacking. So my whole opinion of faith is changed and transformed. I'm now looking at the fact that faith, I've actually received everything my faith was wanting me to discover. So and I want to talk around that a bit more now. Not now probably, but a bit later. But I just want to introduce this talk. I remember one of the things that Jesus said when He was with His disciples. He referred to money as giving back to Caesar what is Caesar's and giving to God what is God's. And I really do believe that Caesar has something in us that belongs to Caesar, and we're living in a time where Caesar is now taking back that thing which belongs to him. And you'd be surprised how much of Caesar's things we have become so used to having around, and not just physically, but in our emotions, in our spirit, in our minds. A lot of the mind frames we are in, a lot of the spirit frames we're in, belong to Caesar. And what God is doing, I think, He's actually extracting that which is Caesar's from us. And it's like a death. It is like a death, a real death. And that shows us, and it reminds us all of what Jesus was saying anyway about death, and how we're dead to the world and things like that. Those notions of death is now very much understood. And it does take a real separation from Caesar. And in this time of COVID, uh, quarantining, we are understanding what death is really all about, because in our generation we've never experienced anything like this, and we are living amongst in a framework of death, and I believe that this death that we're living in, it is the thing that Caesar is taking. It is the thing that is Caesar, and he's taking it. We're looking around us in this urgency, and this fast-moving world we're living in. Everything is happening so quickly. I believe that time is running out on Caesar, and Caesar knows this, and he's taking back quickly what is his. But once you find yourself, you realize that truly what is Caesar's is not what your true self. And we are going for a time of separation and transformation. And what the scripture says about sanctification is about separation. We have been sanctified. Humanity has been sanctified from Caesar, from the things that have kept us short and ignorant for so long. We're seeing before our very eyes a transformation taking place in the world and in humanity. And so these are the things that I will be actually speaking about. And this is just an introduction. Hopefully you'll join me again, and we will go deeper into these subjects. So I'd just like to say, watch this space. God bless.